Today is a big day. My first ever Florida meetup game hosted at Seminole Casino, Coconut Creek, about 20 minutes north of where I live down here in Florida. Well, I've been planning this for months and I'm nervous and excited. I head inside the casino, go to the elevator up to the second floor to the poker room. I have no idea how many people will show up, but at 6 p.m. sharp, we start our first game, which is 1-3 with a $5 mandatory straddle under the gun. It's a $500 max buy-in, and right away, I get into a big spot. It folds to me, and I raise to $15 on the button before the small blind 3-bets me to $60, and I've got pocket aces. Yep, my first hand, my meetup game, pocket aces. It kind of feels rigged. Well, I should be 4-betting here a lot of the time, but I would hate to 4-bet and have my opponent hero fold hands like pocket 9s, pocket 10s, or jacks, ace queen, ace king. I feel like in this situation we could just flat call in position, allow her to be in there with a wider range of hands, and also just put in the trap pre-flop. And it's my first hand. Let's just take it a little bit slow and see what happens. Well, we are heads up in position to king, 3 deuce, 2 hearts. I feel like this is a great board. It's not the best board if she has pocket 10s or jacks, but I feel like she can easily have ace king here, which we are completely crushing. When she bets $50, I don't think raising here makes any sense. I think just a call is fine, which is what I do. And now the turn card is a queen. An interesting card now. Obviously now pocket queens beats us, and my opponent now slows down and checks over to me. Well, I don't want to check back and allow her to get a free river card with any hand that would call a bet. So I decided to go small here on the turn, about 1/4 size of the pot, and I bet $55. And now the small blind jams all in. Uh-oh, I slow played pre-flop. Do you have anything good? Yeah? I think you got me. Wait.
Get this on the vlog, Lex!
I'm gonna show one, you show one. Oh, I think you have king, queen. I think you have me beat. I have aces. Oh my god! Oh my god. I knew you had a good hand, not that good. Table change! What a crazy first hand. Aces versus kings, and the small blind hits a set on the flop, and I end up losing $400 here, my very first hand. Maybe this is rigged. It's just rigged against me. What makes this hand even more fun for the small blind is she used to be a dealer at Hollywood Hard Rock, which is 20 minutes down the road, which is where I usually play poker, and she used to deal for me for years at 2-5 and 5-10. Well, now she's here at my meetup game, and she gets to full double up kings versus aces. My old dealer at the Hard Rock just stacked me. There's all my chips.
Yeah.
Wow. Tough times. After 30 minutes of table number 1, I now switch to my second meetup game table where I get into another big spot with pocket aces. There's a hijack raise to 20. I'm in the big blind and 3-bet to $75. Back over here to the hijack player who covers me. I started this hand with a little over $500 in my stack. Well, the hijack player doesn't want to call, but he doesn't want to fold either. He wants to re-raise my re-raise and make it $250. A dream spot with pocket aces. I definitely think I could just jam all in here, but I'm really not going to have too many hands I'm going to want to be 5-betting other than pocket aces. I do still want to keep him in there if he somehow is bluffing. Maybe he wants to try to make the vlog and he's doing some crazy play with queen 10 or queen jack or ace 5 suited. So I just make the call here, looking to go heads up. I mean, the pot's already $500 and I only have about $250 left in my stack, so it should be no problem getting the money in. Well, we're heads up in position to an ace-high board, giving me top set. There is a queen on the flop as well. It's definitely likely he could have hit that queen with either pocket queens, king, queen. When I check, he checks back. So now I feel like he probably has pocket kings. When the turn card's a brick, I check to him again, thinking that I want to allow him to bluff, or maybe value bet pocket kings, and he does decide to put out a bet of around $170, and now I'm not going to slow play anymore. I decide to rip it all in. All in.
All in.
Oh, I have aces.
Do you?
Yeah.
Nice. I'm drawing dead. Once?
Yeah, one time.
Kings versus aces.
Wow. Aces to kings for the second time in our meetup game, only an hour in, and there's already been so much action. Ace on the flop this time, and thankfully for us, aces are not cracked, and we end up winning over a $1,000 pot here to get us now even on the session. Another fun thing is that we get up on the high hand board, aces full of nines for a $400 high hand, but unfortunately for us, we end up getting beat aces full of jacks with 2 minutes left in the high hand. I move over to my third table of the night, and this one is a wild one. These guys have been drinking, they're looking to have some fun, and I get into a big pot right off the bat. There's a call for $5. I'm in the cutoff with jacks and raise to $25. The big blind, who is Harry B., who also makes poker vlogs down here in Florida, makes the call, and the limper makes the call as well. So we're 3 ways to 9, 7, 4, 2 diamonds. Pretty good board for pocket jacks when they check to me. I bet out $45 and only Harry in the big blind makes the call. Turn deuce of spades, Harry checks, and now I bet big, trying to get him to call with all of his 9x hands, all of his flush draws. I make it $200. Harry goes into the tank now for a while and says, really? And then eventually he calls. So this pot is getting big here. Heads up now to the 10 of spades on the river. And now instead of Harry checking over to me, he puts out a small bet of only $25. I don't mind this 10 on the river, but it could bring in some 2 pairs. I don't think he's ever going to have pocket 10s here for a set. I think he would 3-bet that hand pre-flop. So it's possible he could be doing this with a 9x hand, possibly a 10x of diamonds hand here on the river. I'm going to take this $25 lead as a check. And if he was going to check to me on the river, I was going to jam anyway. I have less than a pot size bet left. I think with the dynamic of me being here for my meetup game and Harry also knowing that I could possibly be bluffing, it's a smaller game than I usually play, I decided to go for max value and jam all in. I think I have to go all in.
2 pair.
Oh, fuck you, really? Oh my god. This fish.
Yes. Yes.
You got me with the blocker bet.
Yes.
Guys, don't watch this guy's videos.
Let's go. I had a top pair.
Oh my god, I had him right where I
Don't
wanted
get my
him.
face in there. Don't get my face in
Yeah,
there.
right.
They're going to be like, no wonder this guy stopped making vlogs.
Before some of you pansies go down in the comments and get offended by how I was speaking to Harry, him and I are friends. We've been friends now for a while. It's just friendly banter. Obviously, I didn't like the fact that he got me on the river, and he outplayed me here by this interesting blocker bet, getting me to go all in. However, if he would have checked, I was going to go all in anyway. Nice hand, Harry, and we end up losing the maximum here on this hand. You could say that this was slightly an overplay. It's possible I could have just called the $25, but like I said, with the dynamic of how the table was going, I've got pocket jacks. It's an overpair. What can I do? After losing this massive pot, I've got a rebuy now for another $500. No more interesting hands at this table, and I move on to my 4th table here at the meetup game at Seminole Casino Coconut Creek. I also order myself a little bit of food, some blackened salmon, and some mashed potatoes on the side. And then we get into this hand where I raise Queen 3 suited on the button to $10. I get 3-bet by the blinds to $30, and I decide to make the call. A very loose defend, but these people came to play with me, so I don't want to be folding that much pre-flop. We see a flop of 8-9-6 with 1 spade. I completely miss, but when the small blind leads out here for $35, I do feel like it's a spot. I can float here in position, looking to just basically bluff on any turn or river. I mean, this board is going to favor my range a lot more than his range. He's going to have a lot of overpairs, big ace, king, ace, queen hands. So I make the call, and we get a great 7 of spades on the turn, giving us a flush draw, and also now giving any 10 or any 6 of straight. So many 2 pairs and sets on this board. If he's got queens or kings, he's going to hate this flop and turn. So when he checks to me, I bet out $110 as a semi-bluff, basically setting up a nice river jam if we do end up getting called. I actually think a lot of the time he's going to fold here with hands like ace, king, ace, queen, maybe even hero fold jacks or queens, but my opponent decides to make the call. So we're going to the river here in a 3-bet pot, and we do miss our flush, but we make top pair with a queen. He checks over to me, and now I think to myself, should I turn my hand into a bluff and try to get him to fold hands like aces or kings? Well, I'm now beating pocket jacks. I don't know. I decide to check back, and we end up winning against Ace King of Spades, which is a pretty nice win for us. Wow, that was sick.
I had a funny feeling I might have been good. I didn't want to push.
Usually you bluff.
Huh?
Usually you bluff.
Well, I hit a pair, so I didn't bluff. I don't know. No more interesting hands at this table number 4. Another 30 minutes goes by, and I switch over to my 5th meetup game table, which my dad is playing at. He came all the way here from Iowa to play here at the meetup game. This table is full of some players that I know from the Hard Rock that I played before in Vegas, and it looks like a pretty big action table. Well, this first hand does not disappoint. When I raise under the gun to $20, I get 3-bet next act to 70, and I've got kings. I've got the second best hand you can get. The player on my left is a very active player. He's enjoying some drinks, he's getting in the mix, he's bluffing, so this is a great spot for me. I'm thinking of what 4-bet size I want to go until the big blind 4-bets to $200. Wow, I raised under the gun. I got 3-bet next to act. And now the big blind's cold 4-betting pocket kings. Well, I'm just never folding for $500. I checked to see how much my opponent has in the big blind. Looks like he's got about $500 or $400. That means I'm all in.
There you go. Bro, where's the camera?
Can you look at your hands just briefly? Okay. Call.
Oh, you got all.
Oh, wow. You got aces? Oh, my God, I have kings. Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God. Another cooler.
Oh, wow.
my God.
Oh, what a hand.
Can you set it up nicely?
That's not my knife. I'm going to lose this hand for sure.
You had queens.
This is yours, right? I've got kings. I've got kings.
My bad.
There we go.
Oh, shit. Oh, my gosh. Boy, maybe you need
King! King! Oh, no.
Oh, man. Oh.
I can win a side pot, though.
Oh.
Nice hand, man.
I take it down. Good hand.
Nice hand. Everyone's got their camera out. My pocket kings runs right into pocket aces, and pocket queens are in there too. The 3 biggest hands you can get pre-flop all collide into a massive 3-way all-in. The big blind is going to triple up in this hand with around a $400 stack. Well, I had $700 in my stack, and the player with pocket queens had around $500 or $600, so I actually do win a little bit of a side pot here after the big blind is paid out. So yes, I end up losing around $400 kings to aces, but I do get a little bit back here. Pocket kings versus pocket queens. Just a sick day. So many big pocket pairs. I got aces into kings and lost, aces into kings and won, and now kings into aces with pocket queens in there as well. Just a crazy, crazy session so far.
10, 7, 10.
Smile for the camera. There you go. Nice.
Was that a tell?
Don't
ask.
I'm
Got a
thinking
turn?
about it. Respect the rotation.
Been waiting for this. Come on, man.
I got a call.
All right, sweat my hand. In this hand, I raise pocket jacks on the button. The straddler makes a call. Heads up to an ace 3-4 flop. When the straddle checks to me, I bet out $20, and he makes a call. Turn pairing the 4. I think this is a better card for him than me. He could have some 4s. There's an overcard to my pair, so I play it safe and check this one back. River card is a queen, so not the best run out here with pocket jacks, and especially when my opponent leads out now for $60. I'm trying to think to myself, well, what bluffs am I beating here? I'm beating like pocket 6s or 7s that might be bluffing. I'm beating a 3, maybe a missed straight draw like 5-6 or 6-7. I'm also losing to an ace, a 4, a queen, so I fold and immediately get owned when my opponent shows 5-7 offsuit for 7 high, and he bluffed me for the vlog. I've made it through 5 meetup game tables in around 2-ish hours. I take a little bit of a break outside, then I head back to table number 1 where there's some players I haven't been able to play with yet. After playing at this table for 30 minutes, I then move over to a brand new table that just started up around 10 p.m. All brand new players coming here to play at the meetup game, and I get into another big hand here on the button. I raised to $25 over a $5 limp with pocket sevens. The big blind, the straddler makes to call, but the limper makes to fold. We go 3 ways to 10, deuce, 7. All clubs, we flop a set, but it is a monotone board. It could get a little dicey here. When my opponents check to me, I bet out $55 and only the big blind makes to call. We're now heads up to the 8 of hearts on the turn. An interesting card. Shouldn't really change much of anything at all. I decide to size down now, trying to keep my opponent in there with all 10x hands, all big clubs like the ace of clubs, king of clubs. I want him to call given the fact that I have a pretty big equity lock on this hand. Well, going here to the river, which is the best card in the deck, it's the 7 of hearts giving me quads. If we were worried about a flush, it does not matter now. We have quads. My opponent checks. I bet out $110, and without thinking for too long, he makes the call. I got lucky on the river.
Oh my God.
Oh! Hey, look at that.
High hand on 5.
Oh my
High hand on 5.
Same seat as the other one, too.
Oh,
Better
odd
win this
7s
one.
with a 10. C2. Not eligible. Doesn't count.
Quad 7s with a 10 is good enough to get on the high hand board, and I give the dealer here a little bit of a sweat. How much time left?
10 minutes. 10 minutes. Thank you.
Alright, if I win, we split it. Okay?
Really?
Yeah. $400 high hand will be split with the dealer. We just have to hold for 10 more minutes, and unfortunately, with 2 minutes to go, my quad 7s get beat by quad jacks. I then keep the rotation going back over to my third table. These guys have been drinking now for a couple hours. It's like a frat party over here at this table. A ton of fun, a ton of action. In this hand, there's a raise to 10, a call for 10. I'm in the straddle with queen 10 offsuit and decide to squeeze here to $55. I'm also drinking some beers as well, looking to mix it up, play a little aggressive, don't want to just 3-bet aces and kings, right? Well, the initial raiser makes the call, but the other player makes the fold. So we go heads up here out of position to 3, 8, 6, all clubs. I do completely miss on this board, but I should still have some big overpairs, aces, kings, and queens. On these monotone boards, you want to bet smaller, so I decide to bet $20. My opponent makes the call. Turn card ace of clubs, I slow down and check, and my opponent checks behind. River card jack of clubs. Now with 5 clubs on the board, I have to decide, should I check or should I maybe bluff? And I feel like in this situation, I definitely could have the king of clubs. I could 3-bet with hands like pocket kings, ace king, king queen, and if I did hit the nut flush on the turn, sometimes I would check over to him to try to allow him to bluff. Well, in this situation, if I'm going to bluff, I want to try to bet big. I want to polarize my sizing to either having the nuts or nothing at all. So I make it $250 here on the river, trying to just say, I've got the king of clubs and your 9 of clubs or your 7 of clubs is no good. Now, this particular player in this hand is a thinking player, and I feel like in this situation, this may not be the best bluff. Probably could just give up here because I think he's going to call with any club in his hand. This bet could get him to fold ace jack with no club, pocket 9s with no club, but eventually he makes the call. I show queen high and he shows queen high as well for a chop. Well, wait a second. He's got queen 10, but he's got the queen of clubs for the second nut flush. Our bluff is not going to work this time versus this strong of a hand, and after this ends up being my last hand of the session. I end up racking up my chips, heading to the cage, and cashing out for the night. First ever Florida meetup game was a huge success here at Seminole Casino, Coconut Creek. We had 5 full games running the entire night. 5 1-3-5 games the whole night. I got to go from each game 2 times. So I got to play with everyone twice for probably an hour total. It was a great turnout. I was a little bit nervous in the beginning because I just had no idea, you know, how many people would show up. I was nervous that maybe I would show up and there'd be like 4 people here and we wouldn't even be able to get a game going. So I was definitely thankful to come in here and have a bunch of people here ready to play some poker. So for all of you guys who showed up at the game, for all of you guys who took time off of work or took time away from family to come here to the Coconut Creek Casino and play some poker with me, I really appreciate it. And also I want to send a thank you to the staff here at Coconut Creek. They did a great job. The poker room manager, the floor staff, the dealers, the waiters, the waitresses, everyone just did a great job. Everything ran super smooth. We had tables, we had chips, drinks, food. It was just a great night. All in all, like, you know, just super smooth, super awesome. We're gonna do one more meetup game throughout the year of 2023. So probably 6 to 7 months from now, we'll do another one. But it was an interesting night. I was a little bit nervous going in because I didn't know how many people would show up. And also, I am a little bit of an introvert where if I don't know people, I'm not like super talkative or social. If I know someone and I'm very close to them and I'm friends with them, I have no problem talking with them. But doing this vlog has kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone to try to talk and of course be friendly with new people who I have no idea, you know, anything about them. So tonight was an interesting night where at first I felt a little bit bombarded because all these people were coming up to me and, you know, I'm just not used to that. I'm not used to taking pictures. I'm not used to people, you know, just treating me like a celebrity. I don't feel like a celebrity. I just feel like a, you know, random poker player. But it was really fun. It was a great night. Thanks again to everyone who came out, and it was just really cool. It's cool to see how this vlog has grown, almost 2 years now. And you know, we had a meetup game, we had a great turnout, and it was a lot of fun. But that is it for this one. Please like, comment down below, and if you came to the meetup game, I want to see you guys in the comments. Comment your name, comment how much you won, comment how much you lost, you know, tell me a hand that you played that you thought was fun. Comment down below if you came to the meetup game, and please subscribe. Almost to 50,000 subscribers. All right, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. My dog's been alone for 7 hours now. I got to go back to him. I got to take a nap. And yeah, it was fun. Thanks again, guys. Until next time, I'll see ya.